Here to share a few of their recent endeavors is their Executive Director for Spartan Innovations, Michigan Rise, and Red Cedar Ventures, Mr. Jeff Wesley. Welcome back to the show, Jeff.
Well, thanks, Chris. It's a pleasure to be here again, and just thank you for all you do for Lansing, and just really appreciate the show, and it's an honor to be here today.
Wonderful. I appreciate those kind words. Can you give the listeners a high-level overview of MSU's startup ecosystem? You got the foundation, but I just rattled off a couple of other entities. So for first-time listeners to this particular topic, share your role in kind of all the cobwebs you you manage.
Yeah, the MSU Research Foundation, over 50-year-old organization, separate from the university, but a partner to the university in commercializing new technologies, advancing research, and the economic development engine that we have here to support the state of Michigan and MSU. Under my role as the Executive Director of Ventures, I oversee venture creation, which is our Spartan Innovation arm that runs a series of accelerators, has very early stage tools, mentorship, and funding for companies in East Lansing, Detroit, and Grand Rapids. Also part of that, we run a series of early stage funds under the umbrella of Red Cedar Ventures and Michigan Rise. With the different brands, it's just a little bit of a tweak in the different thesis of the companies we invest in. The whole idea is to grow high-tech, high-growth companies here in Michigan, be a value-added partner, and bring all of our skills, tools, and funding to make a difference for those companies that are trying to see commercial success.
Now, obviously, MSU's in East Lansing, but you mentioned Detroit, and there's a footprint in Grand Rapids, and you've rattled off Traverse City in the past. So talk a little bit about why the footprint has expanded and why that's really important.
Yeah, first we started in East Lansing, kind of grew out of that pure tech transfer arm, but to really have the critical mass, we needed a great team, early stage funds, and programming. So we had to get it to a size that made sense. As we went along that way with some of our accelerators and things, we saw the popularity and the ability to connect with other ecosystems, and it was just a perfect strategic alignment to see a bigger strategic way to impact Michigan. So that led us to Grand Rapids with our Conquer Accelerator initially. Before you knew it, we were partnering with the College of Human Medicine over there and the city of Grand Rapids, running the bridge out of the Douglas Meyer building on the Medical Mile. How cool is that? With about 15 to 20,000 square feet of space for startups. And then in recent history, which we'll probably talk about a little bit today, the partnership between MSU and Henry Ford has led us to be very active with Henry Ford Innovations on their campus in Detroit, as well as some of the changing ecosystem in Detroit. We wanted to be a part of that. So we've been a tenant in New Lab, which is probably one of the more exciting places in Detroit, right next to Michigan Central. And we've been down there for 3 years. And I think we're probably one of the most active investors in New Lab with the early stage companies there through our Michigan Rise arm.
Wow. Okay. So, I mean, that's a lot of stuff, which is great. Now, it's all around tech.
Yep.
Right. So it's all, so med tech and fintech and I already said med tech.
Mobility,
insurtech,
energy. Yeah. When you put it all together, like we said, we just have one of the broadest teams, probably for an ecosystem like startup ecosystems. We have a lot of early stage funds and we have a lot of programming, but it's always focused on high tech, high growth companies and critical sectors to MSU and the state of Michigan. And it's all about entrepreneurs. And do we have the skill set, the tools to take these people along their commercial journey? We're pretty unique. We also have space through Jeff Smith's efforts at the MSU Research Foundation. We have a lot of incubator space to house them. So one of the things that does make us unique is the backing of the foundation, the sustainability of that model, the ability to partner with a lot of organizations around the state. And we just have an opportunity to really be with the company as long as they're around achieving success and really grow Michigan.
Right.
Michigan's at a great point right now. It's exciting in the state where innovation is. I've been around a few years, and it's just really cool to see how the ecosystems are partnering together, how the state's becoming a great partner with some of the exciting things like our Evergreen Fund and other opportunities. Just a great time to be a startup in Michigan.
No kidding. Right. And the goal obviously is to make new employers, right? And create great jobs and God willing, maybe we find one of these unicorns, something that really hits and just blows up and is the big company for the future.
Yeah, and recognizing startups are hard, and I'm thrilled every day that our team gets to impact cool things in healthcare, to make a difference in people's lives, to impact the world with a new technology, and be part of that, as well as creating jobs and having a great impact here in Michigan and keeping our talent here in Michigan.
Right.
There's so many reasons why we do what we do, and they have a huge impact for so many.
Right on. Well, before we dive into a couple of the examples, things that you've just gotten done with, I want to give a nod to our friends at Wagoner Financial. Whether you're just starting out planning for retirement or anywhere in between, Wagoner is here to help you make smart financial decisions. They offer comprehensive, customized planning from investment strategies and tax solutions to insurance, accounting, and estate planning. Wagoner is dedicated to supporting you, your family, your business, and your future. Using their unique team approach, their team members' specializations ensure that you have someone who will have an answer to your questions and is ready to help. Schedule a consultation by visiting wagoner-financial.com or give them a call at 517-853-3367. So you just got off a massive bus tour doing the Pitch Me competition, which is Pitch MI for Michigan. So Pitch Me, Pitch My. So that just happened, right? So talk a little bit about what were the goals, who competed, how did it get set up, what do the winners get? Walk me through it.
Yeah, so the governor last year, for the first time, put together a Pitch Me contest in Detroit. Had one event last year. Over the last couple of years, on a separate note, we've been working on an evergreen innovation legislation for a new fund. Part of the funding in there was a series of funds to launch another Pitch Me round of events here in the state of Michigan. Fortunately, the MSU Research Foundation, partnering with the MEDC in the state of Michigan, was selected to be that grantee. Within 34 days, we had set a really big goal that we wanted to launch the first 4 events, because over the next 2 years, we're going to do this twice.
Okay.
So we put it on the backs of our team. Our team's just really passionate. We had 374 applications from around the state of Michigan.
Wow.
Geographically across so many regions of this state, almost every region. It was amazing. Our goal was like 175. We had 374. So partnered with a lot of our ecosystem partners, went through a review process and committees to get that down to 20 startups in critical sectors that the state wanted to support. So last Monday, I was in Grand Rapids around healthcare and life sciences with 5 amazing startups. And then a day later, I was up in Traverse City around rec tech and climate tech with 5 amazing startups. The next day, we were at Ford Field partnering with our friends at Renaissance, celebrating 5 startups in defense and mobility. And then on Friday, we did AI in Ann Arbor. Remarkable companies. $250,000 was our goal to invest in them initially and find the next unicorn for the state of Michigan, which these people will go on to get $1 million in a competition right here in Lansing, Michigan in April. So this is big for the state of Michigan. It's great to attract new talent, new startups to the state, put us on the map, and we're just grateful to be a partner of that. Really hard to select the best companies. It was tough. Amazing. Our goal was to give out $1 million in investment last week. We gave out $1.7 million. We had other partners that stepped up, and it was a nice surprise to some of these pitch competitions that Assembly Ventures and eLab and Google came forth to partner with us to really make a difference. And we're just really excited to grow these companies. We're really excited about the event for the whole ecosystem in the state, because it's sending a message that Michigan is the place to build your startup.
Wow. Okay. That's a lot. So rec tech, is that recreation? Like outdoor recreation? Fantastic.
Big focus for Upper Michigan, Marquette, other areas. We've got in our portfolio a number of companies there, and just really a blessing to be up there in Traverse City last week and support some of the momentum they have there.
That's awesome. There's a lot of great work being done up there that I think is a little undersung. So I'm glad to see you guys are leaning into that. So remind me, what's happening in April?
In April, we'll bring back the 4 companies.
Okay.
They'll take the funding that we've just provided them. They will try to advance the commercialization of their company. We'll take another look at them with a big event here in Lansing, Michigan, have another pitch me on a grander scale. And the winner of that will be one of those 4 will be picked for an investment of $1 million.
Holy moly.
Yeah. So that makes a difference. You see, my worst thing was having to tell the 4 that didn't win. But you know what? They're still winners. They have got people in the audience that are looking at them now. We're giving them visibility. But for the winner, this is significant. $250,000 is a lot for a startup in one check when they're trying to commercialize their new ideas. There was so many wins. We saw companies that we weren't aware of. We're one of the most active as investors in the Great Lakes region. We had some companies come out of stealth mode that we hadn't seen. We had people in the audience saying, "Hey, I saw the list and I was on a review committee. I want to look at 20 of those companies." So this Pitch Me competition, and I'm just so grateful to the MEDC in the state of Michigan. We're going to do this 2 years in a row. Is just remarkable for what it can do for our ecosystem. And it's about doing things over a period of years and building a strategy. And I hope this is the first of many. And 10 years back, I'll look back and say I was part of the first one.
No doubt. Cool. And I'd love to put a pin in a May show. I'd love to interview you and the winner after the April decision is done. Great. I'd love to have them sitting here and sharing their journey and how they've experienced all of this. Fan the flames of that success. 4
great companies that we're supporting: Bed Connect in Grand Rapids, Electric Outdoors from Traverse City, General Orbit was the winner in Detroit, and Adrenaline Interactive was the winner in Ann Arbor. And shout out to one of our directors, Pete Martin, was a big part of this. Just one of our directors who brought on for portfolio support last year, helped organize this with our team, and just love my team. And I'm just so proud of them. And I got to spend a lot of days on the bus last week. Probably made my wife happy, but it was an interesting experience. But I love the bonding time, and I just love to go see the ecosystems and try to make a difference.
No doubt. Congratulations. That's great. You mentioned earlier about the Henry Ford collaboration with the foundation. I had a separate show, so for listeners who want to dive into the deep end of what that's all about, you can archive that show and hear it as a sole topic. But as we record this in early October of 2025, can you give us a status update? Like what specifically and physically is kind of going on? Where do things stand in the progress of that?
Yeah, just big picture. Just a reminder, Henry Ford and MSU signed a 30-year partnership a number of years ago. We're in the 5th year of that partnership. The portion we play is collaborating with their innovation arm and trying to make a difference there for the partnership. It's been remarkable. Over the last 2 years, we are actively supporting about 20 companies a month that are getting access to Henry Ford pilots and clinicians. And we're bringing our portfolio, our support ecosystem, and partnering together for 2 + 2 making 4 happen with 2 great organizations and a worldwide reach. So it's advanced so much, and the success has been there. And we see it as a strategic key piece of the partnership moving forward. We've now got a formal hub set up. There's a website that talks about all of our services. And we just launched a few months ago, first ever $10 million investment fund, a new one, just around this partnership that we are going to launch here in January. So again, bringing all the critical pieces to 2 great organizations coming together. So we're just really excited at what's going to be launched and commercialized out of this partnership. And just enjoy working with Lisa Prasad and the innovation team at Henry Ford. And it's just really an extension of our team. It's just a great working relationship, and it's having a huge impact. And healthcare is a huge sector for startups, huge sector in terms of impact. And we just want to be a big player in the state. And I have a great team with Matt Okoninsky and Frank Urban and a lot of people on my team that bring a lot more science and expertise than I do. But just really grateful to have them. And I think this is going to be a critical role that we can play for the state of Michigan and for MSU and Henry Ford.
That's wonderful. I didn't realize it was a 30-year agreement. Yep. And from a real layperson's practical sense, you've got the massive Henry Ford Health that is a functioning healthcare providing hospital. And then you've got all the innovation that comes from the foundation, all the startups. So it really takes the practical, a big hospital organization like Henry Ford Health isn't going to have the capacity probably in their own right to do innovation while they're flying the airplane, right? So to having this kind of subset of people that are in that world trying to, how do we automate this? How do we use AI? How do we get new technologies to take this thing that takes 4 hours to make it a half an hour? Or how do we take this thing that's the 6-month process and turn it into 2 weeks? Or right? I mean, it's just speeding it up.
So if you look at the big partnership, you take MSU, you take Henry Ford, a strategic alignment that integrates clinical care, medical education, and research.
Right.
So you got those key items, clinical care, research. Bring over the startup side of it, what we do with early stage funds. They have a team there at Henry Ford that's a good team, but you put us together, we can accelerate so much more. We can bring new technologies to Henry Ford. We can bring things in our portfolio to Henry Ford. We can bake things out of this partnership in terms of bringing them out of the hospital and getting them the best chance of success. There's so many wins here, and there's so many opportunities. And before we had Henry Ford, if I had a healthcare startup, it was hard to open that front door with a hospital with all the challenges. Right now, it's just a critical piece of the next step for our startups. That's huge for making it easy for them to find that path and get into that hospital and really make an impact. So just great. It's a phenomenal partnership. We're enjoying where we're at, but we have more work to do and excited about where the future is.
Excellent. Well, today's podcast is sponsored by our good friends at the Kirk Byron State Farm Agency. Their mission is to put the customer first when helping them plan for risks of everyday life, to prepare for the unexpected, and to realize their financial goals. Kirk and his team build value and confidence in your auto, home, life, health, and business insurance and financial service needs. Kirk is always looking for the opportunities to help customers in mid-Michigan and around the country. Everyone has insurance needs, and you do well by contacting Kirk Byron State Farm Agency and hear what these experts have to say. You can get in touch with them by calling 517-349-3830 or look them up at sfbyrons.com. You will not regret it. So I've seen a lot of news on LinkedIn. The Tech Week phenomenon is now just kind of a recurring calendar setup. I think of Grand Rapids in particular, but are there a series of tech weeks that happen around the state? And can you just share a little bit about what the goal is for those? Yeah,
it's part of the growth of the Michigan ecosystem. Tech weeks have just kind of flourished in the last number of years. We got a lot of them. So it's almost every region celebrates the activity around this ecosystem. So yeah, we just went through Tech Week in Grand Rapids. I think it was like close to 170 events in 1 week. We had one day, I think we had 3 events in the bridge in Grand Rapids. Ann Arbor is just going through A360, their Tech Week. Renaissance on Demo Day just occurred. Lansing will have theirs in April. There's one in Traverse City that's annually. It's an exhausting time, but an awesome time to celebrate all the great partners working together, highlight the companies, and that's why it was kind of fun to do Pitch Me in the middle of all that.
Right.
Because we were fortunate to partner with Renaissance to do on Demo Day right at Ford Field. We actually partnered with a group up in Traverse City. They were having a RecTech event at the same time. Just an awesome time for the state. Awesome time for people that want to learn more. There's so many of these events you can attend, and you can come and see what this ecosystem is about. For the young people in the state that want to find a job, we actually have a portal on the MSU Research Foundation now with about 200 jobs that you can get with startups. It's a great way to get into this sector, either through visiting these events or looking into these startup opportunities for internships and partnerships. And I should give a shout out. We got the MVCA event this week, so we'll all be celebrating the Michigan Venture Capital Association and all their great work in the state also. So lot going on. So
is that just an event to celebrate the people, or is there
there'll be awards? There'll be the Startup of the Year, the Entrepreneur of the Year. Several awards will be given out. Love the organization. What our Toposian does with the MVCA is a great organization that we support, and on the board of that organization, and just looking forward to this week's event.
Wow, fantastic. Where's that held?
It's in Detroit.
Okay. Nice.
So, and I should give a shout out. We also, from the MSU Research Foundation, have coming up on October 15th at the ACO Hotel, the Data Summit that we're going to be hosting here in Michigan. So even just with the MSU Research Foundation, between our 3 locations, there's a series of events going on all the time. So whatever your interest is, if it's a high-tech, high-growth sector, or AI, healthcare, you name it, look for these events. They're great to attend, great networking things. and just great opportunities to continue to learn, develop your ideas and thoughts and skills.
Nice.
So,
Would you recommend for people who are really energized by this conversation to follow you on, say, LinkedIn, or is it better to just navigate the website, or a little bit of both?
A little bit of both. Anybody, myself, I'm always open to folks. I enjoy talking to people, hearing their story, sharing my story, helping anybody I can. It's just part of my character. Follow me on LinkedIn. Go to the MSU Research Foundation website. Go find it. You can see all the cool things the foundation's doing, all the great team members we have there, and all the events that we're doing. So reach out there. Our offices, East Lansing, Grand Rapids, Detroit. I love the culture of our team. They're all great people. Many of them are founders. Just reach out to any of them and talk to them. But a lot of people, the young people are still struggling, I think, to find their first jobs. And I think this is a great lane for them to consider.
Right on. We talked about all the techs like fintech, rectech I just learned about, but edtech.
Edtech.
You have an edtech program now.
Yeah.
We haven't touched on that. So share a little bit about what that story is.
We've gone through an evolution with our accelerators. They've been, when we have our network of services, they're just really popular. And, we had some recent launches. We had the Henry Ford Health Tech sector, working with them with Conquer in Detroit. We had the MSU FCU one here with FinTech and InsurTech, which MSU FCU has been a great partner. We've had companies nationally moving to the state of Michigan because of this accelerator and this partnership. So we had been doing some work with EdTech. MSU is a big EdTech school. So our friends at Michigan Virtual have stepped up, and they're partnering with us. What I love about the evolution of our accelerators, I thought they were being impactful. They were working around the state to really connect the dots between ecosystem partners. But we're at this level now where they're just partnering with these great organizations, Michigan Virtual, Henry Ford, MSU FCU. That's bringing on more expertise, more first customers, more opportunities for these technologies to really get in and showcase themselves in a place they want to be.
Right.
How cool. So we're really excited about the Michigan Virtual launch here. I think we have 3 accelerators going on right now. So just really cool, and just really proud of the work Tom Stewart's doing with this group and all the impact our venture creation team is having around the state.
Wonderful. Wow. Fantastic. Love the energy. Love the optimism. You're doing great things. I appreciate you just as a person in the planet. I'm grateful you're at the position that you're in. Never slow down. No.
I'm working on that. It's part of an evolution for me in life. But being one that has seen success and grown companies, the greatest thing you can do in life is impact others. And I think our whole team takes that approach. If we can help some of these entrepreneurs get their ideas into the marketplace, share what we screwed up and share what we learned, that's a pretty good report card to hold ourselves to, and something we can do for the foundation, MSU, and the state at the same time. So it's a pretty cool opportunity that we get to live and breathe every day.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for being here, Jeff. I appreciate you joining me today. We've been speaking with the Michigan State University Research Foundation Executive Director of Ventures, Mr. Jeff Wesley. Jeff, wonderful work. Keep it up. Don't you dare slow down, because we need you.
Same to you, brother. You do the same thing, so I appreciate you. So let's keep it going.
All right. Well, I'd love to give a final shout out to all my loyal sponsors: Wagoner Financial, Good Marketing, Triterra Environmental, Keller Williams Advantage and Team, Michigan Rise, Kirk Byron State Farm, and the attorneys at Foster Swift. All great people worth the call. And if you found the show as a one-off, I want to remind you to follow and subscribe to Michigan Reimagined on YouTube, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and pretty much anywhere you find your podcast. This is Chris Buck signing off for Michigan Reimagined.